I'll be calling you a radical, so wait till this one. Scientists mystified, baffled, stumped, bewildered, perplexed, alarmed for... They can't even get the timeline right. Oh, new study says starfish are drowning. Warm oceans. It's total bullshit. Kevin Blanche, the real marine biologist, will debunk it immediately. Number one, they said it's been hanging out for 7 years. This is 2021. Wasting disease was verified in 2012. Wasting disease. Never just a word they came up with, no causation. If it was warming ocean, so you're telling me that just the ocean went like that. Boom. Hell of a way to boil a fucking ocean. We know as a scientist, fuck you, this is fraud, this is fraud. And it's being regurgitated all over platforms. It took fucking 5 years for these people to even fucking admit they were collapsing. I think it's irony the best tide pool in all of California is right there at PB, right where the fucking broke out at my home. So, listen, this is important. And I rely on public funding. I know everybody's pissed off and fled because you don't think politics matters in this? You don't think environmental terrorists in the fucking White House matters in this? This is what caused this, Fukushima. Who's the most pro-nuclear energy fucking president in history? Donald J. Trump. Who's the second? Barack Obama. Oh, it matters. As a scientist, when something acutely collapses, now stay with me, this didn't happen gradually. This was, boom, off the hook in 2012, like right now. There are thousands of videos out there in 2010, right there, PB, all up and down the coast. Start Googling around where they're just loaded. They immediately collapse. So you're trying to tell me that climate change just happened. It just... Ocean. By the way, Fukushima is the hottest substance in the history of mankind. It is the fucking boiling ocean. Warming oceans, okay? Let's stop. What caused the warming oceans? So, greenhouse emissions, auto exhaust, of course. But did all of a sudden we just start driving 10 million more cars? I mean, it's been moving like this happened. So we call that an outliner in science, right? Right? All you scientists. Where are you scientists? We call that an outliner, right? Right. Okay, let's put this in symphony. We need accompanying evidence. Okay, let's go salmon. Salmon live in the ocean too. Okay, we need conclusive evidence as a scientist. Now, you're not going to put a guy, because it's never happened to him, which my hypothesis was plutonium, a plasma, a gas. It's a plasma. It took me a year and a half to convince anybody this was even one meltdown. I mean, you think about just my work there alone. My Nobel Prize. And I'd fucking have to fucking beg for fucking even enough existence to even live, to eat. I mean, when all this money's being thrown out for these bullshit fake scientist studies, real science. So, we don't count dead tide pools. Oh, Kevin Blanche says, we don't count dead humans in bone marrow transplant. I was almost one of them. Think about this. I did all this fucking work while fighting AML leukemia caused by nuclear fallout, mix it up with some radio roundup. Okay? Salmon. We count every fucking returning salmon on the Columbia. We count them all. Now stay with me. Steelhead salmon have a double life cycle. They go out, we call them half pounders. Their life cycle is 1 to 2 years. 2012, we started to see the numbers already start to drop. Record returns in 2011. By the way, Tim Martin, I just got off the phone with, talking about they canceled the steelhead competition in the Winter Steelhead Derby in Idaho, but they have one. One of the Sportsman's warehouses up through Oregon has had one going for several weeks. Several weeks it's been going to 6-pounder and a 12-pounder. You heard me right. 2. So why are they even still fishing? Now stay with me. Chinook salmon go to sea on average of 5 years. Record escapement, that's little fishes that make it sea. Record returns in 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15. On record escapement. 2015 on the Columbia River. That's the one we track. And the other ones are even much, much worse. 1.4 million returning salmon. Big. Tim Martin caught the world record steelhead in 2010. We have pictures of it. We post them all over. I'll put them back up. Get your Mask on. Okay, so ODFW, WFW, NOAA, everybody's models dead on. They're forecasting 1.7 million returners in 2016. Kevin White's the only scientist on Earth that's I'm predicting 680,000. I'm like, no. This is the first year of Fukushima. They come in at 680,000. I'm dead on. Second year, they're like, oh my God, it's just an outliner. Just an aberration. Okay, let's run some more. Second year, they're forecasting 2.3 million in 2017. I forecast 480,000. They come in at 480,000. Whoa, once his luck, twice his skill. Okay. 2018, I forecast 330,000. They forecast 2.7 million based on a statement. Their model comes in at 330. They're freaking out by now. Now, remember, back, the tide pools are wiped out. Back, the anchovies and sardines post-Fukushima collapsed 99%. Back, the fucking gray whale fucking washing up dead epidemic. You know, all this compelling evidence. Now, remember, for years, nobody even was reporting that there was any meltdowns in Fukushima. Kevin Blanche is crazy. Those are hydrogen blasts. Go ask Chris Busby. Go ask Arnie Gundershill. Go ask fucking Ken Buckafuglu, who all work for the nuclear industry, every one of them. Go ask book writing Helen Caldecott, who doesn't have a clue about nuclearism. And I can verify that because I've talked to her face to face. She doesn't even know a clue what you're talking about. She just made a bunch of money writing books. She has nothing to do with science. She has nothing to do with, any of it. So, the next year. So I'm dead on. We've gone from forecast of 2.7 million, we're down to 333,000. We've gone from returning to 1.4 million, we're down to 300. I set my next year's at 220. That's when they said, whoop, no gill netting. So they gill net in front of the dam. They take out half. So you have to double your increase. In 2016, they took out 1.4 million salmon. The nets. Oh, we still see salmon in the store? Yeah. That's called farm raised. Very little wild caught. I sounded crazy when this was coming out, but it's contemporaneous knowledge. These meltdowns, the frogs have been boiled nicely. Dead on. So they're saying the tide pools, the starfish are drowning. What about the sea urchins? What about the crab? Now the crab is all emergency closed. Well, it was. They dumped. They've recalled 29 tons of toxic crab. It's all coincidence. The heat source coming off the Fukushima, which I call plutonium plasma gas, they've sent down multiple robots in there they can't get at it. And they verified that it's millions of degrees, the temperature of it. Millions of degrees. Nothing can get near it. It's in the ocean. Now, we had the collapse on the Russian peninsula, this acute radical, another collapse here this year, which I called Russian syndrome. Russia syndrome. Because my hypothesis is it far burrowed through. Now, I said, you'll hear nothing. Greenpeace ruled out there was fuel. Ruled out was everything. Again, scientists are mystified. They're baffled. They're puzzled. They're stumped. They're perplexed. Starfish drown. Okay. So, if this hypothesis of theirs, their studies coming out, is accurate, one, they would have died off slowly. It's like people think the salmon was slowly. No, it collapsed. We go from 1.4 million to 220,000 like that. We've had a 99% collapse in. Now, I found some this year, me and my grandson in Monterey this year. But this year in San Diego, working all those pools, I didn't find any. I work all the time, and I'm going to get back at it ASAP. I'll be back. I've done this for years. I need funding. Thank you everybody historic funding. This is all, it's unbelievable, actually, is what it is. Drowning. So we know this is an acute radical on the starfish. It's an outliner. It wasn't gradual. And so they're going to try to say that they drowned just because the ocean got hot. Well, of course the ocean did get hot. In an acute fashion? Yep. That's not what they're saying. Fukushima got it hot. Hell of a way to boil the Pacific Ocean. I've never been mystified, baffled. First you hypothesize the knowledge. My knowledge, I hypothesize first. They're going to lie. These are full blown out meltdowns. The spent fuel pools blew all the fucking hell. Everybody says, where's the, Spent fuel pools, check your bone marrow. Cancer. By the way, there's no doubt in my mind that the meltdowns are responsible for COVID-19, a mutation. Absolutely. And that's not a crazy, that's what he said would happen. It's, the fires. I said it's a plasma, it's a gas, it's going to fucking, the pine trees hold, all my pine trees died. By the way, Utah is reporting, again, all hypothesized Kevin Blanche, my spiral jetty videos show the fucking lake at perfect levels. In an acute fashion, you can go out there, the Great Salt Lake's lost fucking 60% just in 8 years. It's fucking emptying out. All my trees died. Utah's reporting the driest fucking year in its hit. We're in denial. We've got the greatest drought you ever seen in the history of the fucking world going on in the Western Heights. The trees. I says they'll suck up the fucking, which I call Fukushima, into the needles. That's how pine stays green all year. It sucks up radiation from the sun. They're going to get too much, it's going to get hot, and we're going to actually get spontaneous fires where the atmosphere is going to catch fire. All predicted by Kevin Blanche. This heat source that's coming off Fukushima is going to cause a heat bubble over the western United States. It's going to make the Great Salt Lake go dry. It's going to cause a fucking, all of it 100%. First you hypothesize the knowledge, then you do by the way, I've done the field work. It's going to give you cancer, it's going to give you cancer. I got leukemia. Cancer rates have gone fucking psycho. Every word I've said has been dead on accurate, and all my evidence is to brag. By the way, I've done the field work. You do the field work, and then you defend your field work, defending against this tsunami of ignorance. So they're drowning, okay? Fuck. What a fucking disgrace. And they get funding, and I don't. I don't get shit. It's unfucking believable. The greatest PhD in human history. What's her name says, fuck, PhD. To just say that you're the greatest one PhD is a disgrace to you. Your work is so broad and so big, it's like 100 PhDs. We call that an outliner. So we have to, you can trust in science, run regression into your computer. All you scientists, run regression into your computer. It will fucking deviate from the mean by a billion times. Your smoke will come out. And it'll point right to 2011. So absolutely, with all the evidence, the Starfish collapse, wasting, all of this, the salmon, everything in symphony, everything that Kevin Blanche, the scientist, said would happen, son of Cassandra, has happened. The Fukushima narrative is out. The frogs have been boiled nicely, and they're all dying, and they're accepting their deaths, and they're going to go protest Donald Trump staying in the fucking White House and try to, it's insanity. So, something obviously, absolutely, it's an arguable science, radical happened in the Pacific Ocean. Well, on Earth in 2011. And it started in the Pacific first and then spread across. So let's start reviewing. Can any of you think anything that happened? Oh, they killed Gaddafi. That do it? Oh, no, they got bin Laden, didn't they? Was that year? I don't know. Right about there. Was that it? Did a series of meteors hit the Earth? No. Did all of a sudden we start driving 10 million more cars? Did we have 1,000 exval? Did we have the biggest oil spill in the history of mankind? What about a nuclear meltdown? Does anybody think that maybe that? Oh, God forbid we ever have one of those. What? We had 3 of them? And they pushed the energy into the Pacific Ocean, and the energy bringing star power to Earth, Livermore, California, which, by the way, is Kamala Harris's mother. The epidemiologist who died of cancer hang. Not to mention spent fuel pools blown to fucking smithereens. Did that really happen? Yep. Well, there it is. It's as obvious as scars across my face. Starfish drowning now. At least they're admitting they've wiped out. They're watching my tide pool video. They didn't do any of the tide pool video. Google around. Find it. Find the evidence and find all the field work. I showed you mine. You show me yours. Thank you, everybody who supported this historic work, but I need funding. I haven't had any funding at all for fucking weeks now. Drowning. Kevin Blanche, the greatest PhD, the greatest in history, bar none. The greatest story, the greatest crime, the greatest cover-up, and you're going to protest fucking, Trump being certified in life. Fuck, should be protesting the cover-up of Fukushima and the classification of Kevin Blanche's work. It's out there for God and everybody to see. Plutonium? Oh, that's very real. It's a gas. It's a plasma. I mean, I've proven it. My work has proven it. I've proven it. I've proven it. I've proven it. I need an award. I need some kind of recognition. I need something. I need some money. I mean, a car. Could I get a car for all this historic work? Just the most famous PhD, the most historic. While I'm in critical condition with AML leukemia, my heart split open, jumping through tide pools with a Feldorg valve. I've had open heart surgery in the last 3 years. My gallbladder ruptured. I mean, I've got AML. I was given 2 months to live 9 years ago. I've done all this fucking while in critical condition. Huh. Maybe I could get a new car. You think that'd be a lot to ask for? I mean, all this money. I'll bet you this scientist got enough money to buy a new car. You think he did? Probably got $1 million for it, I get shit. It's heartbreaking, to be honest with you. I mean, it's very discouraging. I don't know. I just keep plugging along. Stay tuned.